what's going on? It's your Radio Love Deja Vu in the building with us. Back at it again. Shaun T.
What's up?
Shaun, you got to get closer to the mic, bro. You got to come in.
Too far away?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Talk nice to me.
Yeah, what's up?
Ooh, he put the baritone in. No, you know what? I know it's going to be a fun time when you're in here. When I first met you, I think last year when you came in, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, we've seen you on TV doing all the workouts and everything, but you are hilarious.
You know what's so interesting about that? First of all, thank you, and thanks for having me back on. I think when it comes to people's careers or what have you, everyone tries to put you into a box. And like I like to say, I'm not one-dimensional. You know, I have many different types of workouts. So in my hip-hop abs workout, I'm your gay best friend. You know what I mean? My dance workouts, when I'm in Insanity, I'm your drill instructor, I'm your coach. Woo. When I'm now my new workout, Dig Deeper, I'm your personal trainer that's more focused on getting you lifting, because none of us are the same all the time. Like, we're different at a party, we're different with our friends, we're different when we're parenting, you know? So I just like people to get all of me. Because I don't need you to guess. Like, I don't need you to guess who I am. I just want to, you know, be as I am. Be
as you are. And you are an amazing individual. Thank you. Now, you've been doing a lot of bulking up. Y'all, when you watch the video, I know people who are listening right now on the radio, you got to go check out the video. This guy is on swole. Now, you just got finished competing recently?
Yes, I just got my pro card for bodybuilding in August of 2024.
Wow.
And so now I'm in that build phase. Some people call it the bulk phase. I call it the build phase.
Okay.
Actually, yesterday on Instagram, someone from Europe looked at one of my videos or pictures where I was dancing with the Arizona Cardinals cheerleaders, and they were like, basically, they were asking, why is one of the football players dancing with the cheerleaders? But the way they described it is they were like, why is the well-fed guy dancing with the cheerleaders? So I'm going to make a T-shirt that says,
well-fed.
Some call me thick, some call me bulky, but I'm well-fed.
I like it. Come on.
But, you know, so with bodybuilding, you have what I like to call your growth season. And believe it or not, a couple years ago when I first started this, I did not like being this big, because what I like to say is I used to be a petite 190-pound
oh my gosh.
dancer. You know what I'm saying?
Dancer status.
But, you know, this is what you have to do in order to put on the muscle. And at first it was uncomfortable because, you know, just like I'm 50 pounds heavier than I normally am, and I'm 25 pounds heavier than my stage weight. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I like it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
you
so
like
do
it,
you.
We love it.
And so do a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So does my husband. I'm winning on all fronts. Do you hear me?
I love this. I love it. Now, you said you started bodybuilding back in 2020-ish, 2022?
Actually, April of 2022, post-shoulder surgery is
when I
started bodybuilding. And I started bodybuilding because I couldn't do lots of cardio. And in my physical therapy, I learned that building muscle in my shoulders, because that's where my surgery on my left shoulder, protected your joints. I mean, I knew that from science, but experiencing it was a whole different ballgame. So, so then I just fell in love with training at the gym, and it helped my knees because, you know, I started building muscle in my legs, and then I was like, well, everybody else at the gym is doing a competition, so do I.
Right, that's what I was going to say. What was leading up to the actual competition factor in it? And is it as tough as it seems? Because you see all these people with the bodies, and it's just like an eighth of an inch difference from this to that. Is it that tight with the competition?
It is extremely tough to get to the stage. It really is. Either you really struggle with hunger or you struggle with energy, but that's just part of the game. And yeah, so bodybuilding is also very subjective, right? Like, you're not crossing the finish line first.
Okay.
The judges are looking at your body, looking at your definition, looking to see how full your muscles are, how dry you are, how you come to the stage, how you actually pose. So where I'm used to track and field, where it's like, I'm crossing the finish line first, and that's that, and I'm going to get my medal. You have to be fully present the entire competition from the time you walk out on stage. So, and yeah, and the winners and losers, if you will, I mean, there's such small differences because everyone that gets up there, especially in the pro circuit, which I'm going to do my first pro show this year. Ooh. I mean, it gets even tighter because, you know, these are people who are ultra serious.
So you said you got your card, you're working for pro. What's the next level in doing this? I mean, like, what do you have to do now? How fine do you have to get? And how much do you have to lose? You know what I mean? How much weight you have to lose or put on?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. The way my coach does it is we don't focus on numbers. He focuses purely on aesthetics.
Oh.
So whereas most people think bodybuilding is just get big, my coach is like, do your shoulders, are they symmetrical with your chest, with your back, with your waist, with your abs, especially when you pose. So my check-ins are all posing. It's not just standing there showing my body. So that's where it becomes a little bit more difficult because you have to really hone in the food with the training, with the recovery, because sleep is really, really important.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question, but it's
but that's interesting. It's fascinating. So you've conquered that part, and the weight loss and weight training is all mental, which kind of goes back to what you're talking about now, which is your new podcast.
Yes.
T is for transformation. Talk to us about that and how you're going to be exploring these new stories.
Well, I'm really, really excited. I just launched our first episode this week. I'm really excited for T is for transformation because, a lot of podcasts, rightfully so, they focus on celebrities or just influencers that are really popular. And as a person who has, for 20 years, been in the homes of people across America, from, construction workers to stay-at-home moms to, people who are hustling from one job to the next that have no time, or people who are afraid to go to the gym, I wanted to bring real-life people with real-life stories that real life people could relate to.
Yeah.
And so I interviewed a bunch of people who were transformed with my programs, but I went a little bit deeper because exercise is only, 30 minutes to an hour of your day. What happens outside of that is where the true transformation happens. So I wanted to dive into there. You got to hear about, addiction, people being insecure, people having surgery, people having other ailments, older people, younger people. So it's I just wanted to take a bunch of people for people to say, you know what? I've been making that excuse because there's a difference between excuses and reasons. Excuses are tools of incompetence that build monuments into nothingness.
That's right.
So is it an excuse, or is it I have to figure out a reason why this is happening? And like I say, I'm going back to excuses. If you make an excuse not to do something, you can make an excuse to do something.
What are some of the things that you try and get them to where they are now to where they want to be in the process of transformation as you're talking to them?
It's so interesting you say that. I'm just about to launch my 10-week program called Transform and Thrive. And the very first thing we do, see, people think transformation happens the first day they work out. I gained 50 pounds. I now have to lose weight. Last year in 2024, I did X, Y, and Z. I have no money. I need to learn how to spend money. But what I do is let's go back to where you started to gain the weight. Let's go back to where you started to spend more money than you needed to spend, because that's the point. That's what you have to change.
And that why did you do it?
Why'd you do it in the first place?
Exactly.
I call it, you see a lot on my commercials, at least back in the day. You see the before and after pictures, right? You see somebody that looks like this and they got ripped or shredded or lost a lot of weight. But what happened before the before? Like, how did you get there? And so that's where the true transformation happens. If you can find out why you started to go down that path in the first place, it could have been something that someone experienced like I did with sexual abuse, childhood trauma. It could be a past relationship that you just have been scarred from, right? So it's really about finding that. And when you find that, that's where you can anchor your power, because that's where you can always go back to. That is the consistent moment you can say, I don't want to do that again. Because it's easy for us to gain and lose weight. I mean, that's going to happen. But let's go back to the point at which where you started to go downhill, where you were unconscious about it.
Yeah, especially when it comes down to food. When I tell you, man, listen.
Wait, let's talk about food.
It's cold outside right now. Let me go and throw some.
Can we
mac
not
and
talk about
cheese?
healthy food until we talk about
Yeah. So what do you have to eat?
Well, we'll talk about that second. I got to tell people what I like to cook.
Okay, come on, break it down.
There's something different than what I like to eat. So I make the best mac and cheese you've ever tasted in your life, and it's vegan. And some people are going to snub their nose.
I think I might have to turn my nose up.
Listen.
How do you make the cheese? Is it the cashew cheese?
No. I actually, listen, I'm from the hood. Like, I'm going to get the vegan cheese that's already, I don't got time to do all that extra. I don't got time. But I know how to season.
Okay, there we go.
I know how to season. So I make a really good macaroni and cheese. I make really good banana pudding.
Really? Mm-hmm. How often do you allow yourself to have like those splurge moments?
In this bulk phase that you see is where I slip and dip a little bit. I'm actually you remember Hamburger Helper?
Yes.
I'm about to take my mac and cheese and I'm about to I'm about to layer it with some ground beef or some ground bison. I wish I could freeze it and send you some. So
you can still,
or you
why
can come
don't
to
you
Arizona to my house.
Come on,
How about
let's
that?
do it.
It's a resort waiting for you.
We will be right there on site. We're here live at Shaun T's mansion.
Let's do it. But what do I eat? Oh, I also have something called Shaun T Burgers. I have a video on Instagram that you have to check out. Shaun T Burgers.
Okay.
But what do I eat? So right now in my bulk phase, I'm eating, like my pre-workout is a cup of oatmeal, a cup of berries, and some peanut butter and jelly without the bread. I just eat some peanut butter and jelly.
That doesn't sound too like.
But
that's
so
doable.
They're fast acting carbs, because the fast acting carbs is what I need to use that energy right away. But
Gotcha.
post workout, I eat 2 cups of rice, 4 ounces of beef. I know, 2 cups of rice.
Exactly.
Rice. The next meal is another 2 cups of rice, 6 or 7 ounces of beef, and then I get into chicken. 7 ounces of chicken, a cup and a half of rice.
Wait, this is all the same
green
day?
beans. This is all on the same day. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Everyone, but that is a part of transformation, your physical transformation. But mentally, you got to prepare yourself to do all of that.
There are 3 jobs to being a bodybuilder. One is eating, the other is working out, and the third one is sleeping and going to the bathroom.
You are a mess.
I'm a mess and a half. But I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
But if we flip that, let's just say you're somebody who wants to lose weight. The same foods I eat will work for you. You have to add in some vegetables that I have at the end of the day typically. But it's really about the calories, the portions you eat, the macros that you're having. So I eat a lot of carbs right now. That's why you see this bulk happening. I use them. The rice is slow acting carbs.
I was about to say 2 cups of rice. Good.
But let me ask you a question. I know you're interviewing me.
Okay.
But when
he's about to Shaun T tease for transformation on me. Come on, let's
But
go.
when you see somebody at the beach,
okay,
right? Do you want them to be the ripped Shaun T that you see on stage, or would you rather be the well-fed Shaun T that's in the studio? Come on, give it to me.
I have a preference for football players. My friends always say I like thick-necked dudes. Although my husband is not like that. But at any rate, I like that kind of body. I like the body that you have here. That's just my own personal throwback preference.
Listen, so my husband and I have always been like super fit. Like I call it petite. I'm just being silly. But now that we're both like in this bulk phase, I'm like, this is where it's at. Do you hear me?
Do you get all the looks and the stares?
Of course.
Of course. Do people say that, oh, you've put on weight now? Has anyone kind of like wondered what was going on?
Oh yeah, I mean all the time. I mean most people who know me, they know. They know I'm a bodybuilder. They know, I've been in fitness for a while, so it's not really a surprise to anyone. I mean, there are haters out there, but the more haters you got, the more attention you get.
Haters are gonna hate, as the great prophetess Taylor Swift says. Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. I mean, if you're minding my business, you're making my business your business. So that's on you.
All right, so new year. Everybody talks about their goals and transformation. What's on deck for you this year? You're launching the podcast, but what else are we going to be looking forward to seeing you do?
Well, I'm doing a lot of really deep motivational work. I know a lot of people know me for fitness, but I just did a webinar weekend, something called the Resolution Revolution, the no BS blueprint to lasting change. Because I think resolutions are great, but I think it's the survive mentality. It's people are like trying to get to a goal weight, they're trying to get to the finish line, but what happens after? It's like I call it situational exercise. People are going on vacation or they're going to get married and they want to fit into the dress. And then you see them couples like a year later and they're like, oh, we were in our honeymoon phase. And I'm like, and then the honeymoon phase goes from 1 year to 2 years to 3. I'm not being shady because, we just talked about we like them thick or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I try to get people to have lasting change, to be able to, because people say, how do you stay, fit all the time?
Right.
Even though I'm big, I still bigger. I'm well fed. I still work out. How does that happen? I'm like, because I have these tools that are set. It's non-negotiable for me.
Give us one of the tools.
So, the one is survive, not thrive. Is instead of having this survival mentality, I'm only going to the gym because the doctor told me I have high blood pressure, or I want to look good for everyone else at the wedding. It's what is thriving for you? How do you get to that thrive state? It's like, instead of making a 6-month goal, make an 18-month goal that surpasses that situational exercise or that vacation goal. So then it's just continuous, right? Yeah. That's just the first part. And then the other thing is what we were talking about earlier, where if you find the reason, that moment that you start to feel a little wonky and you're going, quote unquote, downhill, if you find out that reason, if that's your trigger, you know how to pull the trigger on the trigger, if you will. So so that's just kind of that's how I started my year. And then personally, besides still being a great husband and dad.
How old is your child?
I have two.
You have two.
I have two. They're twins. They're 7 years old.
Oh my gosh.
They're
What phase
wonderful.
are they in? What do they like to do?
They love to read.
That's good.
They read like 4 books a day. Seriously. They love Roblox.
Everybody's on this Roblox.
They love Roblox.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They play soccer. They're Ninja Warriors.
Awesome.
And they're just so wonderful. They're so cute.
How
I love
has
them.
being a father changed you and even your outlook?
You know what? It's so interesting. So Scott, my husband's father, gave us the best advice when we were having kids. He was like, remember, the kids are coming into your life. So you guys have created this great life. You guys have great, he calls us the dynamic duo. He was like, don't change anything about yourself. Let your kids see how you are. And that will be their greatest influence. So, you kind of like watch yourself a little more. You try to like, don't do the things that your parents did that, so I will let my kids win an argument. I'm like, logically you win. And I never tell them because I said so or because I'm the parent. Because if you have a great argument, I'm like, it's logical. I want them to feel confident about sticking up for themselves. Sometimes one of them, he has a mouth. He's very worldly.
Very worldly.
He's very worldly.
And where does he get that from?
Me.
I was about to say, okay, at least you own it.
The other one is more like my husband. I made one, my husband made the other, but I don't know how their DNA flipped in their personalities. But so yeah, we just kind of like. And the other thing that really, I went through a lot of stuff as a kid, a lot. But, the other thing is I never met my father before. So I'm very, very intentional about every single conversation. I think, it could be overcompensating because I never had it before, but it works,
It benefits your child.
Yeah. And they talk to me about anything and it's great.
Would you ever go and explore that part of your story?
I don't know. So back in the day, I would say no. I would be like, no. And I do have an idea. Like, he does speak to people in my family. Like, he actually talks to my brother and people. I have not.
So he's around.
He's not
sort of
phone-wise because he
Gotcha.
lives in a completely different place. But I'm very careful on the energy I let in my space.
That's true.
Because I do believe you're the average of the 5 closest people to you, and one drop of black ink in clear water can ruin the water. And I just need to be ready for if I wanted to do that, so I'm just not ready for that yet.
But at least you know that. And I think that's just half of the battle, being able to articulate that. Because sometimes we'll be like, no, I don't care. And then you don't know why you don't feel that way. But knowing that you are protecting your space, knowing who you are and how you are, that proceeds, that gives you light and information into even that bit of the story.
Yeah, I didn't start living until I was 14 years old. Like, that's why I escaped my trauma. So I know what it's like to live life behind a scrim, to like not see true color, and now that I have that and I've been able to build that and I've been to therapy, I'm still in therapy. I'll be living my best life in therapy. My therapist is
I think
lit.
we all need somebody to talk to. Sometimes you got to bounce something off somebody who can give you an unbiased answer or even hear you out and help you work through those things.
That's it. That's why I love my therapist, because he has no emotional connection to me. He's just, and it's an honest conversation. So, I do that and I keep myself grounded and my husband and I make sure we take lots of, date nights and vacations for us since we had kids. Cause I know a lot of people have children and their life becomes about the children.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like our life was lit before we had kids and our life is going to be lit after.
Yes.
So you
gotta
got
have
to take
time
care of the
for you.
relationship too. Yes,
absolutely. Exactly. Okay, so what does the next couple of months look like for you? You just did your resolution,
yes,
and now you have the transformation with Shaun T. What are we doing next?
So we had the revolution. We had T is for Transformation Release. I'm going to do my 10-week program, Transform and Thrive, with a group of people to help them transform.
Okay.
And then I go into
How
my
do people
bodybuilding
get into
season.
that?
They can go to I don't know the website. You know what I mean? If you
Follow
want,
Shaun T on IG.
yeah, just follow me on IG. Listen,
you'll be talking about
my thing is if you missed out, you probably missed out. I'm just kidding. Go if they watch my podcast, they'll be able to figure out a way to get there.
Yeah.
But for me, my the other thing personally that I'm really excited about is, being a professional bodybuilder. I'm trying to make it to Masters Olympia, and it's in Tokyo in August.
Wow.
So I have to win a 40 and over pro show. I know I don't look over 40. It's fine. You don't have to tell me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to win.
I need you to have a reality show. Can we get you on a reality show?
Listen, yes. Everybody denies me because they think they need like negative drama. I'm like, I'm a show in myself.
You
I don't
seriously.
I'm like, who needs the drama? I am the drama. But I can argue with myself and you'll be just as entertained as if I was like cussing my husband out, which I wouldn't do. Well, I don't know. Sometimes he'd be getting out of hand.
Would both of you guys go on the reality show?
Yeah, he's a mess. Yes.
Come on.
But it would be more fun and real, and it would have emotion and like real life situations that happen. But it just wouldn't be like real, what is it? The Real Housewives of.
We're not throwing drinks just to throw it.
We ain't throwing drinks. Like, it'll
All
be
right,
real.
somebody needs to bring this to light. Come on now.
Come on. All right, but so my goal is to make it to Masters Olympia. I have to
Okay.
win a 40 and over pro show, which is really tough to do, especially
So how
for my
many
first
things do
year.
you have to do leading up to that, though?
So in March, that's where I start my prep.
Okay.
So maybe I need to come back on this show, when I'm
on,
going
we
to do
can
it
do
without my
check-ins.
shirt on. I'm going to do it without my shirt.
Y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
You are, like we said, he's a whole show within the show.
But I want to do it on your show.
Come on.
But so that's gonna be really tough. That's gonna be a really hard thing to do. I'm actually officiating a wedding in May. It's gonna be my 5th
How
wedding.
many lives do you have?
I told you I'm not one dimensional. I'm telling you, I got things to
officiating
do.
weddings out here. What is there to do that you have not done that you're like, boom, I want to check this off of my bucket list?
Oh man.
Are you a skydiving type of person?
That is
Are
something
you a
that I will not
safari
do.
type of person?
I've been on a safari. I don't know. I've traveled the world 3 times.
Have you been to
around.
Iceland?
I've not been to Iceland.
Okay.
I
I hear that's the new it spot. You might not want to go yet.
mean, I would, don't they have the
everybody
hot
and their mama's
springs and
trying to
stuff
get
like
there.
that?
Oh,
They have
you're
the hot springs?
Yes.
I'll do some hot springs.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like I will say that my early young adulthood was amazing. I mean, I lived in Istanbul, Turkey. I've taught on every
remember you saying
continent.
that, yes.
I've filmed and done commercials in Tokyo. I had an infomercial, a Hip Hop Abs infomercial in Tokyo. I performed with Mariah Carey.
Wow.
Like I've done a lot. I've traveled the world, been to safaris. I have children. I've been married for 12 years. I mean, I can say that I've lived so far a great life. No, there's nothing perfect about it.
No one's talking perfect, but you are really blessed.
I'm very blessed, and I know it. You know what I'm saying? And I really just want to spread that to other people. That's kind of like what I do. And like I said, it all for me, I do look at the life as a glass half full, and I do have my stressful moments, but like I said, I didn't really start living until I was 14 years old. I lost 14 years. So technically was 46
You're only
minus 38.
and push it on back. I'll say a cool 35.
All right, let's do
35.
that. I
There
mean,
we
I can't
go.
do math right now, but it's
Me
something
either,
like that. The only reason I feel my 40s is because when I wake up, my back hurts a little bit.
Lot of mercy.
These kind of things. But yeah, I mean, I can't necessarily say there's one thing that I want to do. I just I love the people around me, and I'm happy.
I think that sounds like great success measures right there. The people that are around you, you're doing what you're doing. You are emotionally intelligent. You got it all.
Thank
got
you.
It all.
And
Now,
I want to say really quick about the emotional intelligence stuff. Most people think that emotional intelligence is because you know how you feel, but it's also being able to read how other people are around you
Right.
to be able to connect the energy so that you can help them out. If you're emotionally intelligent, then you should be able to be like, I'm going to calm myself down. I'm going to bring this and try to build this person up. I just wanted to say that.
because you can only control yourself, right? And we have situations that are around us. It's how we respond versus reacting to those things, you know?
who are you?
Come on now.
This is what I say all the time. Like, there's a difference between a response and a react. When you react, when someone goes to punch you in your stomach, you clench your abs. That's thoughtless. But how you respond, that's why when you ask people a question, if they answer right away, they're reacting. You can't trust that person. You know what I'm saying? You got to
give them the side eye.
Yeah. Be like, oh, you answered that real quick. Some of us are quick, but you know what I mean.
I do understand what you're saying. But Shaun T, I'm excited for what you have going on.
Thank you.
How can we find out about when your next episode drops of T for Transformation? Is that all on the IG too?
Yes, yeah. T is for Transformation on Instagram.
Okay.
And you can also follow me at Shaun T, SHAUN. Some people call me Scene T or Shaun. Even though I'm from Jersey, but it's SHAUNT.
Okay.
And then if people want to, they can go to digdeepernation.com and join my community. It's a free community. I believe I have the largest fitness community on Facebook, so it's really awesome. We do challenges all year long, and it's super
really?
engaging
Do you have to
and fun.
sign up for the challenges, or can I just be a watcher?
You can just be in a group. We
lurker?
post the calendar up on what to do, and it's easy.
Nice. Well, thank you for stopping by. Before you go, this is a radio station.
Oh.
What are you vibing to right now? What do you listen to?
Oh my goodness. I have a bunch of different things that I love. My playlist. Where's my phone? First of all, I'm like in this Chris Brown moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris he just sold out like these arenas in Africa. Did you hear about this? This dude did like couple shows back to back, sold out 90,000 people. It was crazy.
Like I just can't. I'm like such in this Chris Brown moment. But I also really like really music that people would be like, huh? Like I like this woman named Freya Ridings, I think her name is. I'm like my favorites on my Spotify are all over the place.
But that's cool because you can bounce from genre to genre.
Yeah.
Now let's go back, throw back in the day.
Okay.
What was one of your favorite R&B jams?
Step off, grab your coat and get lost, wrap a scarf around your neck, go out and catch the
that's
road. That's MC Light.
Jack, that's MC Light.
The 80s.
Don't you come back no
more. Yes.
What was that? That was Paper Thin.
That was yes. What you say to me is just Paper Thin.
Come on.
That is the old school. That was when, for me, no shade to rappers now, but that was my era. Like that, and Big Daddy Kane and Miss Melody, Self Destruction. You remember that? Like this was.
Self-destruction.
You had it for self-destruction.
MC Light's version of that. What did she say?
Oh, she said, hold on.
Scotch tape with a razor blade tape to your collar. Leave the Johns
and the knives alone. MC Lights on the microphone. Bum rushing and pushing. Oh, yeah.
Cram to understand why brothers don't be back.
Let's go. Yo, that is that. So for me, that's how I fell in love with rap. You know what I mean? Like it was that. And Whitney Houston. You know what I mean?
So all the
because my favorite song is I Want to Dance with Somebody, and it was released on my birthday in I think 1988.
Oh wow. When's your birthday?
May 2nd.
Okay. What does that make you?
I'm a Taurus.
Nice.
100%.
Nice. All right, well then we gotta do a Whitney chorus. Come on. Yeah. I wanna dance with somebody.
Hey.
I wanna feel the heat. You gotta hit that note. That heat.
Love.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, we'll play one of these jams for you. Thank you for stopping by,
Thank
Shaun
you for having
T.
me. It's so good to see you.